I've been reading Pabanga Rinpoche's Liberation of the Palm of Your Hand, and one of the things he says is that when you're teaching the Dharma, you must smile. So Venerable does that very well. And he said there was one Geshe who taught who didn't smile, he just frowned and scolded his students. But I suppose they got the Dharma too. But anyway, that's not what I came to talk about. In the front generation sadhana, we make the request to Tara. May every living being who merely hears, sees, remembers, touches, or talks to me immediately be purified of all of his problems and their causes. May they attain temporal happiness and ultimate happiness. May I be able to lead them to enlightenment. Basically is what it says. This may every living being who merely hears, sees, remembers, touches, or talks to me. So that's a big aspiration. Our dedication prayers in our Chenrezig sadhana has the similar verse. Anyone who really sees, hears, remembers, touches, or talks to me be freed in that very instant from all suffering. So I've been thinking about this for a long time. Like, what kind of person, what kind of quality would you have to be able to have that be true? That anyone who merely see, hear, remember, touch, or talk to me be freed in that very instant from all their suffering. That's mind-boggling. So in the course of my Dharma life, I've personally met two people that gave me a clue about this. One of them was one of Venerable Chödrön's teachers, Geshe Geshe Topten, who she talks about from time to time as being the monk who is so humble that he's always looking a little scruffy and his shemdap's a little sideways, and you'd never know what an accomplished practitioner he was. He came to teach at Dharma Friendship Foundation in Seattle quite a few years ago, because I was very new to the Dharma. And his presence was such that just sitting near him, there was a feeling of such kind of happiness and acceptance, or even just feeling his love. And it wasn't that he was smiling at the students. He wasn't that kind of guy. He wasn't outgoing. He wasn't, he wasn't one of those jolly Tibetan teachers. It was pleasant, but, very focused on what he was teaching. But the quality of his energy was so pure, was my interpretation, that you could almost just weep to be near him. And I had the same experience when I heard Venerable Palden Gyatso speak, also in Seattle. He was the monk who was imprisoned for, I think, 30 years, tortured. And when he spoke, I don't remember the content of his talk, but I do know that he spoke about his time in prison with such love and such compassion. And he had that same energy, he was as far from me as I am from the camera, really. And I just could heartily not weep to be near this man's love and compassion. So I think that has to be some of the quality. Now, His Holiness, I've never met personally, but I've been to hear him teach quite a few times with thousands of people. And what I notice is everybody gets happier. The more the days of the teachings go by, it seems that everybody gets lighter and lighter and lighter. So that's the same quality. So, how do you get that? So a few weeks ago, when Venerable was teaching Mind Training Like Rays of the Sun, I think she gave us the key. And it is from, oops, where's my marked space? It's from the Birth Stories, and it's a quote that I marked. Here it is, right here. Whether seeing, hearing, remembering, meeting, or talking to them, always do whatever will be beneficial for sentient beings and will bring them peace. And of course, bringing them peace, I'm interpreting as meaning the peace of liberation and enlightenment. Certainly maybe the peace of this moment as well. So whether seeing, hearing, remembering, meeting, or talking to them, always do whatever will be beneficial for sentient beings and will bring them peace. So I have been practicing with that. I've had that in my pocket for a few weeks, just using that as a way of reminding myself throughout the day of the motivation that we are trying to maintain throughout our day, of harming no one, of being of benefit, of creating virtue and remembering bodhicitta. It's a beautiful little synopsis of how we can bring benefit to others. And I am convinced that practicing that really is the cause for being able to be the kind of person for whom, if anyone merely sees, hears, remembers, touches, or talks to us, they will immediately be freed from all suffering. So it takes a long time. But I wanted to kind of re-emphasize that for the people who heard that teaching, and to bring it to the attention of all the people who are practicing the Tara retreat from afar who aren't listening to the Thursday night teachings, because I think it's a very key piece to understanding how to do this Tara practice.